Barry Manilow. If you hear the cheering children, you know it's Friday on the Jerry Doyle Show. Good to have you on board, JD here. We always do appreciate when you carve out some of your time to spend it with us here on the program, where we like our flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, our politics a little messy. Marcella working the dials for us, as always. Brad producing the program. Emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com, conveniently tied in with my name. Spent a lot of money to get that from GoDaddy.com. Poll question up there for you today. Until today, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol had written a secret draft policy that lets its agents catch and release low-priority illegals, plus give them work visas. An estimated 800,000 would qualify immediately. What do you say to that? Nobody says you support the plan. 12% say it's the slow road to amnesty. And 88% say catch and release is for fish, not illegals. You can answer it there at the website or here at 800-876-4123 on the program, where intellectual anarchy is encouraged and nurtured for now. Want to give a little shout-out to my buddy Bubba Keel, driving across America, listening to us on our New Orleans stick, KTIB 640 AM, heading to see his daughter and her family in Mandeville, Louisiana. Hey, Bubba, try and observe the speed limit, and don't call us unless you have Bluetooth or some other. What was that, Chris Wallace, Fox News? Did he get popped? He was doing an interview on Fox News, and apparently he was talking on his cell phone, and the man came along, and I guess, did he get arrested? Was he making a joke about getting arrested?
I'm going to have a problem here. I'm talking to you on a cell phone, and there's a policeman here, and I probably shouldn't have been talking on the cell phone, so I'm about to get arrested. Goodbye.
He got a ticket.
Oh, he got a ticket? Because, you see, we're a nation of laws, Brad. It's all about the laws. Oh, did you hear the thing, too, about the drones? Drone on the range? We were talking about that yesterday with Senator Rand Paul. Do you know that they've been monitoring these cattle ranches that we just came to find out today for 10 years now? For 10 years, this drone technology has been monitoring cattle ranches because apparently some of the cows, when they go cow doo, some of the rain has been washing some of the cow doo into the streams, and somehow that gets into our water supply. So that's why the government is fining the ranchers, because we're a nation of laws. It's all about following the laws. Speaking of things that lie on the ground in a steaming pile that you don't want to step in, Mayor Bloomberg, New York City, he had this quote about the nanny state. He was being interviewed by Charlie Rose, and he was talking about these efforts to ban the sale of sugary drinks and milk and popcorn. And they say he's been criticized for previous efforts to ban, among things, smoking in public places. Really? Who was criticizing him? Oh, that's right. It was me and other smokers and other people who believe that we should have the right to live our own lives and make our own decisions. But the smokers looked around and said, hey, where's everybody else backing me up? And they were like, oh, no, you're just a bunch of smokers. You're too stupid to know what it is that's bad for you. And then we were warning you, non-smokers and smoke Nazis, that sooner or later they're going to come after something that's near and dear to your heart. And now here they are. And in a certain way, I got to say, I'm glad that they're limiting your Slurpees. I'm glad they're limiting the size of your popcorn. I'm glad they're limiting the kind of milk drinks you could get at Starbucks or whatever. I want you to know the kind of constitutional restrictions that I and other smokers have had to live under while you stood there and pointed the finger at us going, ha, see, it's you smokers that are the problem. And now guess what? I'm going to back you up. Even though you didn't back me and the other smokers up, I'm going to back you up because I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the right of self-determination, and I believe in the right for us to be able to make decisions for ourselves, whether they're the right ones or the wrong ones. It's stupid to smoke. I get it. But guess what, folks? I smoke FDA-approved cigarettes because the FDA approves the cigarettes I smoke, and the taxes that I pay go to help kids get insurance up to $96,000 a year for a family of four, because at that level, you're just too poor to pay your own way. Now, with Charlie Rose, this is what Mayor Bloomberg had to say about what government's purpose is. He said, if government's purpose isn't to improve the health and longevity of its citizens, I don't know what its purpose is. Well, apparently you don't. You have no idea what government's purpose is. Government's purpose is to stay the hell out of my life. That's what government's purpose is. Government's purpose is to make sure that we are a secure nation. Government's purpose is to make sure that we have a standing military. Government's purpose is to protect citizens, domestic and abroad. And abroad or two, or maybe a couple of hundred, especially if they're the right broad. But that's government's purpose. Now, Bloomberg, the big steaming pile of cow manure that he is, he had this to say, and then he caught himself. Anything is okay in moderation. Well, maybe not smoking. And then he threw in the big but full sugar drink? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, I guess there is. It's when you drink too much of it. And, oh, by the way, that's not the only thing. He said, we've got a society where everything is fast food and everything is high calories. And the average person today is much heavier than they were in the past. And he said this, airlines have a problem. Their customers can't fit in the seats anymore. No, you big steaming cow pile of nonsense, Mayor Bloomberg. Fat people have a problem with the airline seat. Why? Because they're fat. Airlines don't have a problem with fat people. Fat people have a problem with airlines. But instead of personal responsibility and personal decision-making, where the person might say, I'm a biscuit short of $4.50, maybe I better put down the cheesecake. They're going to make airlines reconfigure the interior of the cabin to make wide-ass seats to accommodate wide-ass people that probably one day are going to be somewhat skinnier than they are. And then what happens when people take on their own personal responsibility, take care of their own current and future health? Then they're going to get skinnier. And then they're going to be sloshing around in the seat and go, hey, these seats are too big. And Mayor Bloomberg is going to say, look at these fat-ass airlines with these skinny people in the seats. Now we have to get the fat-ass airlines to skinny up the seats so that the skinny people don't slosh around in the seats. And I give you the big, steaming cow pie known as government intervention. That's just for starters today, folks. That's just for starters. Now, today, Barack Obama gave us executive disorder. Barack Obama had a press conference today because, again, keep in mind, we're a nation of laws. Chris Wallace, fined, talking on a cell phone. Ranchers, fined because their cows go on the range, and nature makes that run into the rivers. We get fined for everything and everything. Every aspect of our lives is controlled by these people who say we're a nation of laws. But when it comes to illegal aliens, not so much. Because U.S. Customs and Border Protection had this secret draft policy that was going to let its agents catch and release low-priority illegal immigrants rather than bring them in for processing and prosecution. And they say they wanted to be a little bit more in line with the Department of Homeland Security. And some are saying that this is backdoor amnesty. Now, there's certain provisions to qualify for this, and we're going to get into that a little bit in the program. But the thing that bugs me most about this report is that all this stuff is done in secret. And in the report, the memo warns that, quote, no public mention should be made of this policy in order to keep it from being subject to Freedom of Information Act request. And the policy was written at the behest of immigrant rights groups. That'd be like you and your significant other, wife, whatever, have a baby. And someone says, oh, you just had a baby? We did. Do you have a picture of the baby? And you, no, I really don't. Everybody has a picture because they're a proud parent of whatever it is that they're spawning or birthing. But maybe your child is so ugly that you don't want to show a picture because you're a little bit embarrassed. That's the same thing with this policy. They want no public mention. They want no freedom of information. They don't want us to see what it looks like. And the funny part about it is they want this policy to remain in the shadows while they tell the people that are going to benefit it from the illegal aliens it's time to come out of the shadows.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
They say this is not administrative amnesty and we can't grant permanent legal status for now. That's why we say on the program, intellectual anarchy for now. Because what they say it is today ain't going to be what it is tomorrow. But the question is, what do the Republicans do? Obama's leading Romney and the Republicans 61-27 with Hispanic groups. Should Romney pander to the Hispanic community, or should he go with the rule of law? We'll take your answer on that at 800-876-4123. I'm Jerry Doyle. Join me.
If government's purpose isn't to improve the health and longevity of its citizens, I don't know what its purpose is.
This is the Jerry Doyle Show.